Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, coming at you with the 5th video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for Morbid, the Lords of Ire. In the last video, we'd gone through Aurelia, we'd gotten all of the Molder's toolkits, we'd gotten all of the Tomes of Insight, we had discovered the city of Aurelia, getting us 3 trophies. We had then fought and defeated the mini-boss without taking any damage, and then we'd also fought the Acolyte of the area without taking any damage. Now, in the clip that I used, as you can see, during Phase 2, I was able to get him in a kind of chain loop to make it easier on myself. Like always, once you're done, you can come and talk to Phallus. And then obviously, like before, you want to come and talk to Maximus. And now what we're going to do is we're going to head back to Aurelia and back to the House of the Open Mind to show you guys how to get to the next area. Once back here at the House of the Open Mind, we're just going to head on through like we're going to go fight the boss, as you'll see in here. But instead we're actually going to come back off to the left into this little side area here. And as you'll see, there is a ladder to ascend down. That will lead into the 5th and last area of the game, as you'll see just right below us. Very, very creepy. But we'll make our way down and around. There's not really any enemies here in this area, so you don't have to worry. It's more just all about the atmosphere, as you can see. But once you're ready, just simply walk inside. And as you'll see, once you're inside, you'll immediately have your first safety shrine, safe area, in the esophagus. Now, for the most part, all of the enemies in this area are going to be similar to ones we've already fought, so I'm not going to cover those. There is one new one, but he isn't really that tough. He mainly just likes to spawn other enemies and is pretty slow to deal with. But like always, I'm going to show you guys how to progress through the area and to grab anything of importance and to fight any bosses along the way. Now, heading inside, we will just slowly make our way down. As you'll see, it's pretty straightforward. There's no like side paths for now. Nothing to find, surprisingly. But once we come here off to the left and through these holes, you will have to destroy this wall here. But here is that enemy that I was talking about. I will show it off now. Alright, so once you drop down, you actually can backstab this enemy if you do it right. If not, you will have to deal with these guys here. It's best to try and take them out first. As you'll see, he will also spawn these egg sacs. You also are going to want to take these out, because they will spawn leeches. But do be careful when you do, as they also explode. But as you'll see, once you take out all the other enemies, dealing with these guys isn't too bad. Even with such low XP gains, they still give a decent amount. And now we can move on to the next area. So from here, you'll just follow through. As you'll see, you have these weird wall-like structures to have to deal with, like so. And as you'll see, we are now in the abdomen. Like always, now from here I'm going to go through, clear everything out, and show you how to progress through the area. Now from here we're just going to head off to the right. Following this path you'll find a calming capsule right here. Now heading inside here into this new area, there'll be just one of those horse-like enemies down below. But coming up over here you will find some bleeding shroom. Then coming down here into this little area, we'll just continue past, follow this through and around before heading off to the left. If you come off here over to the right, just down here you will find a rune. Nothing too crazy, of course. And then just over here, kind of a little hidden spot, you'll find a specter slug. Now then, as you'll see, we're in a lower area than we were before. Nothing really to find along the sides, and do be careful about the water. If you go into it, obviously it's instant death. We can't swim. But just over here, you'll find an adrenal gland. Now coming around, I'm basically going to wait to do both shortcuts at the same time. So if you continue along to the right, follow this around, as you'll see, it'll lead over into this little makeshift shanty town. Here you'll find another specter slug. Then coming down here into this area, what I find it best to do is to actually come off to the right, follow this area around. Right here you'll find some fire shrooms, and then just up here you'll find another adrenal gland. Now hopping on down, what you then can do is turn around and fight the enemies in this little area here. And then from there, you're going to follow this path up. Just here off to the right, you'll find a rune. Then we'll be basically just making our way back to unlock some more things and a double shortcut. So just right here, right in front of us, you'll find some poison shroom. And then you'll find this long ladder right here. Climbing this up will bring us into this room right here with one enemy waiting for us. But just over here we'll find two runes, a fire shroom, and impaled into the bone structure right here you'll find the jawbone hatchets. Then from here, if we come on down, continue all the way down, just a straight shot. In this area here is the second shortcut back to the start, as you'll see right there. Now I'm going to head back all the way to that shanty town, as there's only some consumable items to pick up along the way. Actually, no, I do think there is a rune somewhere in this area here. I think if we come down, yeah, there is a rune. Oh no, that just looks like a big fat grub. Yeah, it's just a big fat grub. Alright, well, I guess I'm just gonna head back over like so. But we're almost already halfway through this area. Not too long. Just be careful not to accidentally fall off into the water. Like I said, it is instant death. So from here we can now just go forward. Nothing along the sides, sadly. Nothing to find. At least that I have found. But from here you'll then just follow this around. As you'll see. You'll find some more enemies here waiting for us. But just inside here you will find your next shrine at the Punctum Sanctum. Alright, so from here, if you notice the giant broken wall right in front of us, this leads to the last and final mini-boss of the game. Now, I will highly recommend having your Spectre Slug equipped in your hand and ready to use, as it will make the fight a lot easier. Now, like always, I'm going to show you how to or how I fight the boss and deal with it. It is probably the easiest mini-boss out there, especially if you use the Spectre Slugs and your gun to your advantage. So let us begin. And just like that, as you guys can see, having your Spectre Slug rounds ready to go will trivialize that boss fight quite easily. Now from here you can just come back up and around, and here you will find a calming capsule. And as you'll see, we'll be right back where we just were, because if we drop down here, and as you'll see, we're right back at the shrine. Now from here, what we're actually going to do is we're going to come into this room here, and instead of progressing up the stairs, if you drop down over here, you'll find a hidden little area. There's only one enemy, so I'm not going to cut it out. But from here we will find our last item that we need to grab and give to the hag. There we go. Now, coming over here, as you'll see, the red glow, we'll get the relic, the Thurible of Hate. Now, if we head back all the way to the Hall of Redemption, we can then give that to the Hag of the Hall, and that will get us a trophy. So, if you're wondering how to get out of here, all you do is simply just circle back around, and you'll be at the start of the staircase. So now I'm going to head back and give all of the relics that I have to the Hag of the Hall. Now then, once here at the Hag of the Hall, you can then give her all of the relics, and for your services, you will receive a skill point. Yay, so much fun. And you will also gain a trophy, of course, for your troubles. Now we can head back and keep progressing through the last area. Once back here at the Punctum Sanctum, all you're going to want to do is just make your way all the way up these stairs, as you'll see here. It is a bit of a run. Do be careful not to accidentally walk off and die. Also, if the game would load properly, that also would help. Almost there, we're almost there. Just keep running. And as you'll see, once you make it to the top, the conus medullaris, I'm pretty sure I butchered that. But from here, we're just going to have one last little gauntlet of rooms to run through. So I highly recommend it saving and all of that good jazz. Obviously, I'm just going to be skipping it to get to the last part. So yeah. Now then, from here, we're just going to head down through the only path that we can take. As you can see, it is super straightforward for the most part. Just continuing deeper into this giant creature that we've entered. As you can see, the closer you get to the center, the louder the heartbeat will get. Here you'll be introduced to a new mechanic of the area, the blood water, that makes it harder for you to dodge. So coming down here, as you'll see, we're almost done. Got one last little few areas to reach and go through, as you'll see from here. Alright, so from here, after getting out of the horrible blood water, we can then make our way deeper inside of the area. Coming up here and just following this around. As you'll see, we have now made it all the way inside to the heart, and we have our last save area. Now don't worry, after completing the game, the ending won't just automatically kick you into like a New Game Plus, so don't worry about that. But as always, I will be fighting the boss and taking it on without taking any damage, and hopefully you guys can learn a thing or two from that, or if you want to try it yourself you can. But like I said, since we already have the trophy for defeating an acolyte without taking any damage, you don't have to do this without taking damage. I'm sure all these sounds are just ever so lovely. Now, as you've seen, I had defeated the final boss without taking any damage. Surprisingly, it did take a couple of attempts, but we finally got it. Didn't need to use shrooms. But once all is said and done, after the credits have rolled, you'll be back here at the Hall of Redemption, and you can talk to Thalos to complete the quest to slay the Queen of Ira. Now, we're not quite done, as the last quest we have to do and turn in is down here at Professor Maximus. Now, upon doing so, we will get the trophy for completing all quests.
There's no more joking aside.
You'll get the Cutworm Cuspis, and we'll get a trophy.
Let's get cracking.
Alright, so as of now, you should only have 3 trophies left in the game. Now, we're basically going to cover all of those in the last video, but for the most part, the last 3 trophies that we have are going to be regards into filling out your Morbid Menagerie. So you should already have the enemies section completed. As you'll see, you should have also all of the underlings if you're fighting everything in every area. Now, the main one that we're probably going to need to backtrack and go to previous areas for is going to be all of the weapons. Now, I do note that there are a lot of hidden things that even I didn't find in the game, and I'm sure that there are plenty of guides that I will be using to help fill out the rest of these items that I have missed. I assume we also need to get all the consumables and everything like that. And all of the artifacts. Yes. World tutorials. Yeah, so probably the last thing you'll need for your Morbid Menagerie is just your weapons. Now, like I said, there are some pretty hidden ones, and I am not really that explorative or have noticed anything while exploring, but always using guides can help, and I will be doing that. I will also show and link the full guide that I use to find the ones I'm missing, but I will mainly focus on the ones that I didn't find in this playthrough. Now, the last 2 trophies are going to be related to one is for completing a cycle in unending mode, which can be found once you head inside the bell tower and head all the way to the top. We will find the girl that we saved in Aurelia, as you'll see right here. But before attempting to do this at any point in time, as you'll see, you can now finally talk to her. And here you can see the kinds of stuff you can do. Now, probably the one that will help out the next trophy is going to be your sanity meter being permanently bottom out. So basically what these do is these just allow you to go into New Game Plus, but basically you can keep certain things. I assume you can... Yeah, okay, yeah. So basically how it works is you will select all of the stuff you want to keep, and then you ring the bell, and then you will start a new game. Pretty much it. Now, the last trophy is related to fighting ghost enemies. Now, what this means is it's related to your sanity meter. So, depending on how low your sanity is and how weird the world will look, whenever you defeat an enemy, it will sometimes come back. Now, obviously, I'll go into more detail about how to earn that without having to do so, excuse me, going into like a New Game Plus, while we're also trying to complete our Morbid Menagerie. But that is more or less just a general sum of the last 3 trophies. Just filling out your Morbid Menagerie, slaying ghost enemies, and then completing one more run of the game in a cycle of ending, or New Game Plus, as you would say. But this has been Mr. Pilgrim. I do hope that this video and these guides have been helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form, and as always, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.